We're just quickly going to look at a cash receipts journal, and we are going to do this for June 2022. So remember that your journals are done on a monthly basis. So the whole idea with your cash receipts journal is you want to go to one book and you want to be able to see all of the money that you received for whatsoever reason for this specific month. So it's 2022. Okay. So we're going to look at all of the source documents for cash receipts. In other words, we're going to look at receipts, we're going to look at the cash register roll, and we are going to look at our bank statement, because for you guys, that is the source documents that we have been using. So we're going to take all of those source documents. We don't want to go through all of these slips. Oh, and deposit slips, don't forget about those. We're going to look at all of those source documents, and we are then going to record those in our cash receipts journal. We are going to do it on the day on which that transaction occurred. Then we are going to say who we received this money from. Folio for you guys for now, we're just going to leave that blank. Analysis of receipts we will use whenever we receive the money at the business premises. So in other words, not directly into our bank account because we received a direct deposit, for instance. So cash receipts received at the business premises will go to analysis of receipts. Then remember, you have now received all of this money and you want to show that you have received all of this money. Therefore, all of your receipts must go to bank. So you may not have a transaction in your CRJ that does not reflect in bank. Then once you have it in bank, you are going to ask yourself, why did I receive this money? If you received it because you rendered a service, because you are now in grade 8 doing service rendering businesses, then that amount will go to current income. If it is for any other reason, you will take it to our any other reasons account, our sundry accounts, and then you will enter the amount that you received, and then you will tell me why you received it by giving me the relevant account name. So like I said, we are doing this for June 2022, and we are doing it for Turner Traders. So it's always important to note what your business name is so that you know who it is that is receiving money, because from next term onwards, you're also going to start doing the cash payments journal, and then it becomes a bit tricky. Right. So the first transaction here says that the owner, T. Tucker, let me just make this a bit bigger. I'm just going to zoom in a bit for people who are watching on their cell phones. Right, there we go. So the owner, T. Tucker, commenced his business. So remember, whenever we are looking at cash receipts, we are always asking from the business's perspective. Did the business receive money? Who did the business receive money from? Okay, so he now gave the business money to start this new venture. And he did this by depositing 700,000 Rand in the banking account of the business. So, oh, and it says he's a plumber. So this is important moving forward, but I will speak about that in a bit. So whenever someone deposits money directly into our bank account, we will see that on our bank statement. Therefore, source document B/S for bank statement. This happened on the first day. We know exactly who we received the money from. So, oopsie, his name will go into details. This amount was deposited directly into the business's bank account, meaning we didn't receive the cash at the business premises. Therefore, it goes directly to bank. We are going to skip analysis of receipts. The reason why we receive this money is because of the capital that the owner contributed. So it's not services rendered, it is something else, and that something else is capital. Please note the account name is capital. So if you add anything to the word capital, your answer will be wrong. Only capital. And then the fact that they are telling you he does business as a plumber means that whenever you now see services related to a plumbing business, that will be your services rendered, in other words, your current income. Okay, so the next transaction. We have on day 2, we have 2 things happening. Number 1 is we have services according to the cash register roll. And number 2 is that we received money from our tenant for businesses that we rent to him. So you need to now just note that if we don't tell you it is money that we received via a direct deposit, it means that we received the money at our business premises and we therefore had to issue a receipt. And as soon as you have more than one cash amount received at your business premises on the same day, you will reflect only one amount in bank. The reason being that you are at the end of this second day of June, you are going to go to the bank with all of the cash that you received on that day, and you are going to deposit that one cash amount into your bank account. So when you then look at your bank statement at a later stage, you will see the 2 amounts combined. And to make it easier to compare your books to the bank statement, we want to show the same things that we will see on that source document. So on the second, according to the cash register roll, therefore CRR on day 2, then whenever it is money that we receive in the cash register, our details will be services rendered. Why do I want to keep on typing the C? Right, so your cash registers at your business premises. Remember, if you go to Pick and Pay now to go and buy your chocolate, then the cash register is there in the shop. So they received this 22,200 at the business premises. I am going to put it in bank soon, but not just yet, because I have 2 receipts on the same day, and both of those receipts were cash at my business premises. Right, so the reason why I received this money is because of services rendered, therefore current income. Then on the same day, I issued a receipt. I'm just going to say it's receipt number 1 because they didn't tell me. This is also on the 2nd, and I received this from R. Brown. The amount that I received was 6,650 Rand that he sent to me in respect of his rent. So it's not services rendered, it is something else. So I go to something else and I say this is rent income. You have to be specific with your rent, because once we start doing the CPJ, you will see that we also have rent expense. Okay, so rent income. Therefore, the total amount that I received today that I'm going to take to my bank to deposit is 28,850. So it's the 2 amounts on the same day. Okay, next up, on the 10th, it says that services rendered for the day, and then the owner increased his capital. I'm just going to add there by means of direct deposit because they didn't give us enough information. And then it also says that we bought some goods. We know that we aren't even doing a CPJ. We are only doing a CRJ. So this is just one to trick you. It says that you bought electric wire from a wholesaler. So in other words, you had to make payment. That's what COD means. It means cash on delivery. So that is not relevant to your CRJ. That is next term's CPJ. So we're just going to ignore that one. Okay, so on the 10th, services rendered, remember you receive that in your cash register. On the 10th, services rendered at your business premises. That's where you keep your cash register, 40,000 Rand. And then 40,000 in bank and 40,000 in current income because it is services rendered. And no, I didn't add the 2 amounts in bank, even though it's on the same day, because the one was money received at my business premises, and the other one was money received by means of a direct deposit, in other words, directly into my bank account, so it will reflect separately on my bank statement. Okay, so whenever it's a direct deposit, we're going to say it's on the bank statement. It's again the owner, so T. Tucker, directly into bank, so I'm skipping analysis of receipts. It says here that the owner increased his capital to 800,000 Rand. So in other words, from where he was at with his capital, to 800,000 Rand. So from 700 to get to 800, he had to contribute a further 100,000 Rand. This was not for services rendered, it's for something else, and that something else is capital. Okay? Then we said that this is a CPJ transaction, so we are going to ignore for now until next term. And then on the 25th, it says that we received more cash for services rendered. So again, at my business premises, CRR, services rendered. So whenever it's cash received for services rendered, it's in your cash register roll. It's at your business premises. So first analysis of receipts, all cash receipts must go to bank, and this was for current income. Then you must just remember that you must always total your journals unless stated otherwise in the question. And we never add analysis of receipts. We start from bank onwards. So this is 806,650. And then we have 425. So I'm doing this without a calculator here. So that's a 6, and that is a 467. Let's double check. We don't want any mistakes here. Okay, so we have the 700,000 capital plus the 6,650 rent plus the 100,000 capital, 806,650. Then 22,200 plus 40,000 plus 14,225, so 76,425, and in bank plus 28,850, and the 40,000, and the 100,000, and the 14,225. So there we go. That's my bank. And you will see that in grade 8 still, if you add all the columns that follow after bank, you will see that it adds up to the total that you have in bank. It means that you didn't miss anything. You didn't duplicate any entries. Your cash receipts journal is correct.